and welcome back to the Lorraine Murphy Show. I've got a pretty fun magazine-style episode for you today. So I was really thinking recently on, what are the macro habits that really support me? And what are the micro habits that really support me? And I thought this would be a really fun episode and hopefully a nice nugget-laden episode to share with you what those 7 micro habits that I do pretty much every day, I think for most of them, that keep me feeling healthy, that keep me feeling happy, and help me feeling hot as well. I caught up with some of my besties back in Ireland when I was there over Christmas, and my background is beauty PR, obviously like exploring health stuff quite a bit. So my friends were like, okay, what are you doing now? Tell us all the things. And they're sitting there on like their notes app, taking notes of all the things I was telling them about. So I feel like that was, planting the seed for this episode for you all probably back then, sitting there on a December day in Ireland. I've already shared, I think, on the show a couple of times that my theme or my word for this year in 2026 is peak health. And it's all about peak health across finances, physically, relationship-wise, all the things. That's really what I'm striving for, is to have peak health in each of those different areas. And of course, across the business as well. And what I've been really, really reflecting is peak health. It's not built in terms of these epic leap forwards or these big dramatic gestures or changes. The whole idea of peak health is built on those small, consistent actions that are layered day by day by day and ultimately ladder up to hopefully drop us in this really beautiful space of peak health, which is where I am aiming to be by the end of this year. So when I talk about this today, I'm talking about these micro habits, but I'm not coming from a preachy, you should do all of these things. It's not about saying, you need to do these or in order to achieve perfection or anything like that. These are things that I do consistently that I feel embody that theme of peak health. And some of them I've done for, there's one I'll share with you. I think I've done for like 15, if not 16 years now. And there's some that I've only picked up quite recently. So I'm going to dive into the list. And as I said, this is not about you should be doing every single one of these things. I really just like sharing the little tips, the little tricks, the little hacks that really help me. And I do absolutely believe that practicing each of these micro habits consistently, they just make me feel really good. And, some of them make me look really good as well. So the first habit that I want to introduce you to is tongue scraping. We're going to start with the grossest one first. So you may have seen a tongue scraper. It tends to have 2 little plastic, like rubber handles, and then almost like a V shape or a U-shaped metal scraper. So it's an Ayurvedic tool. I learned about it at a day retreat that I did. Yeah, this is the one I've been doing for 15 or 16 years. It's been a very, very, very long time. And when I started doing it, I think we got a free tongue scraper as part of the retreat. I went out and bought one straight away. And I've done this every single day since. I have not missed one day of this micro habit. To me, it's actually as essential as brushing my teeth now. I just have to do it in the morning. When Wade and I went to Morocco, I forgot my tongue scraper. I left it behind or something like that. The first day that we got there, I'm like, I have to get a tongue scraper for tomorrow morning. I need it. So if you haven't come across tongue scraping before, it is an ancient Ayurvedic practice. So Ayurveda is almost like the Indian equivalent of traditional Chinese medicine. And what it does is essentially just scrapes off all the crap that builds up on your tongue while you're asleep. So it's, bacteria and toxins that collect on your tongue. So the whole idea is you scrape 7 times, 1 for each layer of the body. This is an Ayurvedic practice. And just, I scrape my tongue and then I brush my teeth after that. If I did not scrape my tongue, I would just feel like, I feel like it's the kind of thing, if you do it once, that's it. You just have to do it forever and ever and ever. Amen. So it definitely gives you fresher breath. It's a cleaner oral environment. I actually find, if I didn't scrape my tongue and then I wake up and I have a drink of water, I feel like I'm just like flushing all those toxins back down into my system again. So I really like that. It's like, a bit of a detoxing habit first thing in the morning. So I'll jump out of bed, I'll go to the toilet and I'll scrape my tongue straight away. It just has to be done. And I think, once you've felt it and just that sense of like lightness and cleanliness, it's very hard to not do that every day. I noticed that my sister and my brother-in-law had their tongue scrapers when we went home last time. Wade does it every day as well. I was actually thinking about that. When is a good age for the kids to start doing it? So I need to look into that one. Anyway, that's number 1. Micro habit number 1, tongue scraping. Tongue scrapers are super cheap. I think they're less than $10. I had the one that I bought that time for, I reckon, at least 13 years. I only bought a new one last year, so they last forever. Cheapest cost per use ever. The second thing I do, this is, I guess, similar to a bit of a detox, is gua sha in the morning. So I'm sure you've come across the gua sha, like the little, mine is a rose quartz crystal. It's very flat, and it's on each side, it's got like a different edge. So I do this, I only started doing this one last year. And I do it to, depuff my face and energize and lift my face every morning. So I'll do it after I meditate while I'm sipping my lemon drink, which is another habit I'll talk to you about in a second. And I will do my gua sha. So I'll use this stone to kind of, essentially like a lymphatic drainage massage. So if you're watching a video, you can see me. If you're listening, you can imagine. So I kind of scrape up from my eyes and out. And then I go, there's another little angled shape, which is like for your eyebrows, and then under your eyes, and then everything basically just, it's down and out, down and out, down and out, down and out. I go right down my neck. I go up here. There's quite a lot of lymph nodes here behind your neck, at the nape of your neck. So I bring everything down, lymphatic drainage down, and then I'll do some lifting. So I'll use the flat edge to kind of like push everything up, basically, just like zhoosh everything up for the day ahead. So I really like doing that. It's detoxing, it's depuffing. It's also muscle tone. Like I find like I'll go along my TMJ, like I find I can hold quite a bit of tension there. So it really kind of feels like it's moving that tension through and releasing my jaw. And then I'll also, get up here. I can find here feels a bit like crunchy sometimes. So it's just all about, getting everything moving, getting everything nice and energized. And I really like it because it's just like this little micro habit of saying to myself, no, this, I'm important, this is important, and it just makes me feel really good. My face looks a bit flushed afterwards, but it definitely looks brighter. Someday, actually, when I've got some time, I should do half my face and then compare the difference. I think that would be quite interesting. I think it would be quite noticeable. Staying with the lymphatic drainage point, dry body brushing. So this is one that I swore I would take on a few years ago, and I just never did. So I got quite committed with it a couple of years ago. I didn't realize that I was doing it wrong. So I used to have the dry body brush, and I would start with my toes, and in circular motions, I would brush all the way up basically to like my neck. And on my Bali retreat, the last Bali retreat, Claire Bede, who is our amazing spiritual guide, but also just really, really great on holistic health. It was actually Claire who taught me about Ayurveda and helped me figure out what my dosha was and how I should support myself with that many, many years ago, like 12, 14 years ago. So Claire she did a little lymphatic drainage, like a mini masterclass as part of the Miracle Morning one morning, which was so incredibly helpful. And I was actually thinking the other day, I must ask her to put it on the agenda for our next retreat in June as well, because it was really, really good. So she actually taught us to brush, first of all, behind your knees, because apparently that's a real drainage pocket for your lymphatic system. So start behind your knees and then go down to your toes and move all the way up. So I find this is really nice. I find it very energizing. I find it obviously really nice and exfoliating as well. It's just a really nice wake up in the morning. If I'm showering at night, I don't tend to dry body brush because I actually find it quite energizing, quite stimulating. So I kind of want the opposite effect at nighttime if I'm showering. But with my morning showers, I really love doing that just before I step into the shower as well. It's a really quick, it's an invigorating way just to really wake up your nervous system and obviously support your lymph system as well. Because the more I learn about, in your 40s, your circulation slows and your lymphatic system can slow down as well. So it's just all about keeping everything moving as efficiently and seamlessly as it possibly can. Now, the other thing, habit number 4, I already touched on it here, is having my lemon drink first thing. So this is probably one I've been doing for 15 years as well. So I've got a big 800 ml metal container, like a beaker, what would you call it? Like a keep cup thing. And so I have that every morning. So I've got the system down pat. So Lexi, our 8-year-old daughter, has a little business called Lemon Drop. So we pay her to juice the lemons at the weekend and freeze them into the juice into ice cubes. So every night then before I go to bed, I fill up half the cup with water. I drop in a couple of lemon juice ice cubes and I take it up to our room. So in our ensuite, I've got a kettle. I've got like a mini hotel kettle in there. And that's so handy because I used to disturb the kids sometimes going down to get my lemon drink at like 5 or 5:30 in the morning, which is just highly annoying because that's it. The Miracle Morning is not happening when that happens. So it's a really handy little hack. I just have the kettle there next to the sink, and then I can just stay upstairs for my whole Miracle Morning. So That works really, really well. And I really like it. It just feels like, it's really hydrating. And it's a bit of an anchor for my morning rhythm. It's like a soothing, warm drink without being coffee. Because, I adore coffee. I love the taste of it. But I would be off my rocker for the entire day if I had coffee first thing as soon as I wake up. Need that hydration, need that food before any coffee goes anywhere near my system. So yeah, it just feels really grounding, really delicious. Clara Bead was actually saying that she puts some chia seeds into her lemon drink in the morning because it's a little hit of protein. And she said it's really nice. So I haven't actually tried that one yet. I need to get on that. I tried this weekend. Now, the fifth micro habit is journaling before bed. So I don't have a fancy journaling process. I know that people have made millions and squillions of dollars from different journals and so on. For me, it just feels like a bit of a faff. I'm sure for something, I know for a lot of people it works incredibly well. But for me, I just have a very simple Kiki K day per page journal every year. I think this is my 12th year of having my Kiki K journal. And I just do a Dear Diary style, this is what's happened today. And it just helps me, I guess, close down the day and feel like, the day's got a bit of it's tied with a nice pretty bow. And I can go to sleep and just feel like, okay, that's all logged. And I can just rest. It's quite a defrag exercise, I think, for me doing that journaling. So it's a mental release. And it's also like a continuity process. It just, by doing it all the time, it's just a habit now. So I'll get into bed and I'll journal for about 5 minutes. And then, the day is closed now. It's finished. Yeah. And I guess almost like an emotional declutter as well. If there's certain feelings I've been feeling that day, I'll document them in my journal. And it just feels like, okay, clean and clear, time to go to sleep. So that's my fifth habit. Now, my sixth micro habit, which I have been banging on about for like 6 months to every single woman who will listen to me, is taking creatine. So I don't know the ins and outs of the science of creatine. From what I understand, it increases the ATP to your muscles. It brings more water into your muscles. The main reason I started taking it about 6 months ago was to support my strength training. So I noticed that I was able to lift significantly heavier when I was on creatine. However, the more I kind of hear about it and the more health experts talk about it, the more I learn about it, it gives you a lot of physical benefits in terms of strength and endurance and stamina and so on. However, the cognitive benefits are huge, particularly for women in their 40s. So I find I actually didn't take creatine really. I kind of took it when I remembered. I was just so out of routine when we were in Europe. So I probably took it of the 30 days we were away. I probably took it maybe 5 days and not back to back. It was very patchy and inconsistent. But I definitely noticed, I wouldn't go as far as to say it was brain fog, but I found like sometimes there was a particular word that I was trying to think of and I just couldn't think of it, which isn't my standard. That felt weird for me. And I really noticed when I got back to Australia in early Jan and got back into, all my different rhythms, including taking creatine, I've noticed that kind of grasping for words, it's gone. Like it's just not even a thing at all anymore. So I know some mentees who will use it, and this is how I started taking it. I take 5 grams a day just of an unflavored creatine powder, like nothing fancy or super branded or anything. And however, if I haven't slept very well and I've got a big day in the business, or if I'm feeling like I just need to be extra sharp today, I will take 10 grams. So a high dose is actually really good for cognition. Obviously, I'm not a health expert. This is just how I'm using it. And I find it to be incredibly helpful. So I know a lot of women are nervous about getting on creatine because they feel like it might make them bulky or, make them put on weight. And I have not experienced that at all. I've put on more weight, but it's muscle gain as opposed to kind of water weight. But yeah, give it a try. Like try it for a month and just see how you go. I was taking creatine gummies initially, and then that company got absolutely smashed because apparently there wasn't anywhere near the amount of creatine that they said they had and blah. So I get bombarded with ads from all these fancy lady-friendly creatine supplements. They just seem like a pile of branding to me. So I just take, an unflavored powder, 5 grams a day in water. You can take it any time of the day. It doesn't really matter. Yes. If you are not on creatine yet, can you please start taking creatine? It's like a miracle supplement. And one of my besties, Leela, is an incredibly well-researched and experienced health coach. And she swears by it. So get on it. Now, the 7th and the last micro habit that I want to share with you today is doing a gratitude journal. So in the past, my gratitude practice was Wade and I saying to each other, 5 things that we were grateful for at the end of every day. And I migrated over to a gratitude journal a couple of years ago. My business mentor at the time sent me this beautiful package, and there was a gratitude journal in it. And it was really simple. It's not dated. It's just, you just start it whenever and you kind of track the weeks and the dates. But I've kept going. So I'm on my second book. I bought a new copy myself of that gratitude journal. It's really, really simple. But I like writing it down. It feels like I'm more committed, and it's easier to track then, just making sure that I have done it every day. So I'll just do my journal in my Kiki K, write my day on my page on whatever's happening that day. And then I'll pick up my gratitude journal and I jot down the 5 things that I'm most grateful for. And then it's picking up my book, and best time of the day. Just like, my book and my bed. This is the best. And then just, I guess, as part of that as well, as part of that gratitude piece, it's having a quick scan of my goals and my vision board. So I've got my goals printed on an A4 page and laminated. They're in my bedside table, and my vision board in there as well. So just a really simple A4 vision board that I've built and laminated as well. So I have a little look at them as well just before I go to bed, before I go to sleep. So it's just a little... When I'm looking at those goals, those vision board, I'll just do a little scan and say, it's not like I had to have done them all that day or moved everyone forward. But I just ask myself, what's even one tiny, tiny thing that I've done to move just one of those goals ahead today? And it's just gratifying. It's that sense of momentum and fulfillment. And okay, I'm making it move forward. So I want to be really clear here. I've shared these micro habits. I am not saying you need to adopt all of them. Obviously, I would love if you did. You need to report back and tell me how you found them. But maybe think about, what are a couple or 1 or 2 that you could incorporate into your life. I would strongly advise against trying to weave multiple new habits in all at the same time, because we just get to cognitive overload. It's too much for us to support. I talked about system overload recently in a podcast episode. So layering 1, max 2 in at a time. So maybe think about, from what I've shared today, what is one that you were listening to me going, oh, actually, that's calling to me. Like, that feels like a pull. So what do you need to order online? What do you need to pop out and get at the pharmacy? What do you need to, is there some stationery you want to get to start your gratitude journal? Just think about, what's an action that you can take from today's episode? And just remembering as well, this is not wellness theater. I don't think I've posted about any of these on social media. Like, they're kind of pretty unsexy, nerdy things that I do behind the scenes. But I really do feel that they support me physiologically, emotionally, energetically, cognitively, if we think about, the journaling and the creatine as well. And they strengthen my nervous system. They give me clarity of mind. I feel like they give me energetic and mental resilience as well. And just that sense of daily momentum, even if the whole day was completely batshit crazy, if you can do a few of your micro habits, you feel like you've achieved, you feel like you've prioritized yourself and you've moved something forward for yourself as well. And actually, interestingly, recently in an episode, I was talking about the whole idea of identity. If you want the life or the business that you want to have, how do you need to move through the world right now in order to be the person who would have or do or be those things? And I think these micro habits are so tied into that. I want to be someone who, I've talked about, peak health is my big word for this year, my goal for this year. So I want to be someone who prioritizes peak health and it moves through the world as someone who does that. So for me, these micro habits are almost a way of me building my own identity as someone who was doing that this year, and building my own evidence file that I am someone who believes and who prioritizes peak health for herself. So in closing, think about what's 1, maximum 2 habits that you would like to layer in. And it's a way of living. If you layer one in and it doesn't work for you, that's completely fine. But it's over time, as you start to layer the things that work for you individually. I've shared what's really working for me at the moment here. It's a way of living, and it's not about, as I said, seeking perfection. It's about seeking that sense of empowerment and that we are living in a way that's aligned to our values and our beliefs and what we want to create. Because, obviously I'm building a business. A lot of what we talk about on here on the show is about business, but we're also building lives that we love. And these micro habits, I could probably, actually, that would be fun to create a second episode that's all around the micro habits that I practice in business. So I'm absolutely building a business that I adore, that, makes a lot of cash, that gives me lots of time, and I get to work with incredible women. And I'm building a life that I really love living. And these micro habits are really, they're almost like the kindling to the fire of that life, in the micro foundations of that. So this has been a bit of a different episode today. I hope you've enjoyed it, that you've gotten some nuggets from it. Maybe you've got a couple of things that you want to invest in online to get yourself moving on a couple of these habits over the next few weeks and months to come. If you do them, so if you start taking creatine, you start your journaling, you start your tongue scraping, please do let me know. Just let me know on Instagram, Lorraine Murphy Mentor. It's so nice to hear the things that you're actioning from listening to the show. So thank you so much for joining this week's episode. It's been so wonderful to have you, and I will chat to you again next week.